You thought it was Oz, but it wasn't. It was me. It was me. I don't know how he wears that at all. That was just completely uncomfortable. Today, I want to talk to you about Disney Plus and why I'm cancelling my subscription. Because you see, in a few months' time, I'm going to have to renew my subscription, and quite honestly, that $120 that I have to pay, I do not want to have to pay that. I originally paid $70, but we're going to talk about why Disney has made a platform that I'm just not invested in anymore. And to start us off, quite simply, it's their premiere shows. It's the stuff that you see advertised on the internet. Get Disney Plus so you can watch the new Mandalorian or the new Marvel show, whether that's Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision or Loki. After Loki, I really just felt burnt out because they build themselves up a lot and they give you lots of anticipation and you get excited each week to watch the new episode. Like, you're always excited whether it's on Wednesday or Monday or Friday just to go and watch the show. But the payoff is never good enough compared to what you are given. And that's, ignoring everything else we've discussed on game nights. That's kind of the issue with some of these new Disney shows. My second issue is having to pay for premiere access. From memory, there's been movies like Mulan and Cruella, Raya the Last Dragon, and also most recently Black Widow. I don't think I've paid for any of these movies on my own account, but I've watched them on other people's accounts when I visit friends or family houses, and after watching them, I was again so disappointed. As a movie in general, they weren't very good, and so it kind of makes me think, why the heck do these even have premiere access? Like, why are all the Pixar movies, although I'm grateful they are free and they just get added onto the platform, why don't they get premiere access? Because I would much rather pay $25, $30 for a new Pixar movie that looks beautiful, if anything, it's just wonderful eye candy. Like, look at Luca. That movie is just beautiful visually. I would pay money just to look at that compared to these other movies, which kind of just leave a bad taste in my mouth. If I had paid for those movies, I would be even more upset than I actually am right now. Because you can tell by my demeanor right now, I am just so mad. Of course, the one thing that's kind of making me not want to go another year on Disney Plus is the amount I have to pay for. I signed up originally for $70, and that was just for some Disney and Pixar movies and Star Wars and some of the Marvel stuff. Like, that was it. There was no Star, there was none of the Fox TV shows. Like, it was very early days, so $70 was really cheap for a subscription service, and I paid that as well. I think it was $80, maybe $90. Like, it wasn't past $100 yet, which, if you're paying $10 a month for other subscription services, that's $120. So I wasn't paying that amount yet for Disney Plus, which is why I've kept it so far, because I think that's pretty good value for money. But this next upcoming one, with the involvement with all the Fox TV shows and everything, since they included Star and National Geographic and stuff, it's going to be 120 Australian dollars for me to pay. Sure, it makes sense for them to bump up the price when new content is added, but an extra $40 to the service is a bit too steep for my liking. I mean, you can pay an extra $10, $15 on other subscription models. For example, on Netflix, if you just pay the minimum $10, only one person can be viewing that account at one time. And so it makes sense to pay a bit more to have more viewers or to have, 4K streaming. But for Disney Plus, $120 going from 70 to 120 for me, that's a lot of money for a lot of content that I don't necessarily watch. Which brings me to the catalog. Look, I don't have as much of an issue with these, but there have been some comparisons online with the original TV show or movie and then the Disney version and how they've done edits to it, or they've taken episodes out. And I'm completely okay with that, them adjusting the catalog to their liking. But when they do it sneakily like that and they don't really let you know, hey, this is a modified version, that's a bit tricky, Disney. I don't like you doing that as much. At least George Lucas lets you know this is a remade version, re-edited, recut. It's his original vision. But Disney's doing this kind of on the down low, and I'm kind of worried in the future they might do something without necessarily telling us as customers. So aside from the obvious reasons I actually own Disney Plus, that being for new Star Wars TV shows and the Marvel TV shows, I also have binged, I think, about 26 seasons of The Simpsons, and I've also binged Fresh Off the Boat. Aside from that, I haven't really watched much else of the catalogue. I did watch Monsters at Work. You know, growing up watching Monsters Inc., that's been a fun little show to watch while eating dinner, but a lot of the stuff I do is eating food and just binging a show. You know, it's kind of a social aspect as well with when I have people over, or when I'm spending quality time with someone, I'll be watching a show and we usually binge it. And this has come to my second issue with the catalogue, which is the way in which things are released. So if a new show comes out, you can't binge it. You have to wait week by week to watch new episodes. And this has been a bit frustrating with certain TV shows and stuff when I sat down and thought, oh, this looks really cool. I'd love to watch some of this. And I just watched a 25, 30-minute episode and I want more. And I still have, 3 hours of my night free and I want to watch, and relax, wind down and watch something on TV. And I end up going to other subscription services because Disney doesn't have many binge-worthy shows. Like all the shows that are binge-worthy now, I've kind of already watched. Mind you, that was week by week. I feel like if I actually binge them, I might even enjoy them less than I actually did. At first, I thought the weekly release schedule was really smart for Disney. It kept people on the service, and it was kind of exciting, especially with Mandalorian, to kind of see what was going to happen next week. But then 2 seasons came by and I kind of got really sick of it, especially when I felt like the only good episode was the start episode to get you excited and the end episode where they actually do things and there's resolution and they're not just teasing you every single week with a little bit of information. Like if you just watch the first episode of one of the TV series and the last episode, they have a recap. You can just see what's happened between those 2 episodes. Boom, you're done. You saved all your time, all your energy, and all that built up excitement, which ends up kind of plateauing into boredom and disappointment, for me at least. It's just kind of like a lackluster ride, and if I could binge it, I think I'd enjoy it a bit more because there wouldn't be as much hype or anticipation, and I could get to the resolve a bit quicker, meaning that my invested time and interest didn't mean I had to be committed to the show for a whole week to wait for the next episode and that get drawn out for, 6 to 8 weeks, which is a really long time. That's a month to a month and a half. Like, I can do so much in that time. My other issue is just with the service Disney Plus gives you. It's a crappy service. When they introduced Star, they also, because there was R18 content now on Disney Plus, they added pins and parental controls. But ever since they added that, I've been getting bugged each time I log in to set a pin. And, parental controls for the other accounts on my subscription, but everyone that uses my account, we're all over 18. None of us are children. We just, we want to watch Deadpool and we want to watch Deadpool. I feel a little bit annoyed when Disney Plus keeps shoving down these features that, I'm not going to use or need. I'm sorry, Disney, but fun fact, I'm not a family with kids watching your service. My biggest annoyance, however, with the service has been the way in which it resumes and saves your show. Okay, fair enough, you can't compare Netflix all the time because they've been around a lot longer and their tech is more established and, they know what's up. They kind of were the pioneers of streaming services. But Netflix, I can watch a show on my TV, leave it, go to my phone, resume the same show, and it be instant to where I left off. Disney Plus, on the same device, I can click away, come back in a day or two, and it'll have, 5-10 minutes before. And if you're watching a TV show, that's like half the episode. I just missed like half the story, and I don't want to watch those 10 minutes again to catch up to where I was before, only to have to go and leave and do something else again. And so the vicious cycle continues. And if you change devices, sometimes it only applies to certain devices. So if I'm watching it on my phone while I'm out, and then I come home and watch it on TV, I have to scroll through where I was up to on my phone and have a look because they don't sync up. And I get, instantly is asking for a lot. But when it's been a few days, that's when it begins to bug me. And I get that it's a newer service, but this is Disney we're talking about. If they have the money to buy 20th Century Fox and just own all of Fox, then they should have enough money to hire good software engineers to make a good service. I don't understand how Disney can have all this money and all these IPs and properties and have a place like Disneyland, which just works like clockwork, but then when it comes to digital things, whether it's video games or online services, it just sucks. I don't know who's in charge of these things, but they don't have vision for the service or even do their research probably half the time or design good services that are digital. Like, I don't understand what's the issue here. Disney as a studio used to be very creative. You know, Walt Disney, I respect the man. Although he has some questionable practices, he was a creative. I look up to him a lot in ways of, you know, giving it to the man and being like, I'll do what I want. But now his corporation's turned into the very thing he stuck up the finger towards. Like,
Pretty much right. We interrupt this regularly scheduled Nathan video to rag on Disney more than what Nathan is actually doing in the video because Disney sucks. Isn't that right, Oz?
Disney does suck.
Why do they suck, Oz?
Well, for one, they enslave people. They destroyed our childhood. They ruin everything they touch. They're like a plague, a disease.
They don't necessarily enslave people, though they support regimes that do enslave, or what do we say, enslave? It's closer to a genocide.
What about the people that work in their factories against their will?
Oh, well, you know, people could equate that. But, so, seriously, on a serious note, Disney really does suck, okay? The Mulan movie was filmed in the same, you know, what do they call it? Region, province, where a legitimate modern-day genocide was happening, where China, you can look this up, right? China has been, what do they be like?
Ethnically cleansed.
Is that what you call it? Like arresting a group of people called the Uyghur Muslims.
They have concentration camps.
And put them in a concentration camp.
Where they're subjected to rape, torture, probably murder as well.
It's horrifying. Like, the stuff happening in China is actually legitimately horrifying. I'm not kidding. And Disney is very much in bed with China. Like, they love the China bucks. And so
China's a plague. Not China. Well,
the Chinese government is horrible, horrible, horrible. And so the support and it's almost like simping that Disney, like, you see a lot of this happening in other places as well, where, is it the NBA? You know, if someone criticizes China, they have to beg on hand and knees to apologize because, again, they're all interested in money over condemning legitimately horrifying evil stuff.
They're simping for Jinping.
Now, so Disney has not only, you know, if they were a moral company, which they claim to be, would not only denounce the stuff, they wouldn't, you know, actually work in the province where it's happening and things, and then thank them at the end of the movie. Them in the movie, right? This is just like one of the many things that Disney has been doing, which is just really, really awful stuff, and why you should unsubscribe from Disney Plus. And if you can get away with it, don't support them. Okay, because what they also do, something that's just dirty as anything. Disney's been buying up a lot of these other companies. They bought out Fox, right? And they've recently been not honouring the contracts that were being established with Fox, even though they bought them over. And so, more specifically, royalties for books that people have written for former Fox properties that now Disney owns. Disney hasn't been paying them. Like, there's a hashtag going, Disney must pay. Hashtag Disney must pay. Like, look it up. It is just disgustingly illegal and immoral stuff. But because, you know, these are small people that need to spend money in trying to do legal action to get support, they're just, you know, screw them. Disney is just like rolling right on over them. Anything else you'd like to mention?
I'd just like to say, unsubscribe from Disney and don't give your cheese to the mouse. Shad?
Yes, Oz?
I like ladies that could crush my head like a watermelon with their thighs. Do you like those ladies too? Well, you're married, never mind. But I like those ladies.
That must mean you like Gina Carano, Oz.
Yes.
Because she could crush your head.
I hope she does.
Great with her thighs.
Yep.
Gina Carano is a lovely person, from all accounts. And guess what, Oz? She had opinions.
She had opinions?
Yeah, and
shouldn't have those. Not
really bland opinions about, you know, you should treat people with respect and you know, treating people like this way, just like attacking them for their opinion stuff. It's kind of the same thing that the Nazis started to do against the Jews.
Yep.
She made a comparison.
But if I treat people with respect, I'm out of a job.
Well, based on that comparison, that was enough for her to be fired, according to Disney, because Disney is also not only a absolute scumbags, like the company.
They're cowards.
Okay? They're cowards. Bowing to outrage mobs that do not represent the majority of public opinion at all, because they don't want to offend these highly offendable snowflakes. They don't fire people who work for Disney that say equally offensive things, but on the opposite side of the political spectrum. No, Pedro Pascal, who, you know, played Mandalorian, right? He compared the Nazis to immigration camps and stuff like that. So he made a modern day comparison that's, you know, related to a political party with the Nazis about their concentration camps, stuff like that. Is fine, because his tweet swung in a certain political direction, but because Gina Carano's didn't, she got fired. And so Disney is also a partisan, is kind of like a partisan rag, trying to support really clearly certain political opinions. And they're basically saying that Disney, doesn't like conservatives or conservative-like opinions.
It's just not fashionable.
Anything right of centre.
It's just not fashionable.
Well, there's not even anything right of centre now. Anything slightly right of the far left is enough to be cancelled nowadays. Disney supports that. They're the one doing the cancelling.
Yep.
And so, shame on them. Do you know Disney is very copyright trigger happy? Like anything infringing on the slightest bit on their copyright thing, they will dive on. Yet Disney has profited off reappropriating pre-existing properties.
Yeah.
Like, did they invent Snow White?
That's many such cases.
Yeah.
Many such
Did
cases.
they invent Sleeping Beauty?
Nope.
They invent, you know, Snow Queen, like from Frozen.
No.
They invent anything? No, they didn't. They have been milking public domain for ages. Yet if anyone even slightly does something that they interpret as being related to their content, and might be like the most vaguely related stuff, you know, very transformative, parody and things like that, they try and smack down like really, really aggressively. Because I think they tried to sue the South Park creators for using a parody of Mickey Mouse, you know, in their things and stuff, but they didn't win because it was clear parody and stuff.
Probably.
But they try, they legitimately try, and for people who don't have the, you know, legal ability, the finances to contest that stuff, what are they going to do? And I feel it's so damn hypocritical when they have milked pre-existing properties, yet they don't allow anyone, not even that, just the vague, smallest kind of interpretations, no, not allowed. Oh, and they've also ruined Star Wars. They've been trying to put political propaganda in so many properties, and they're trying to do it to the Marvel, and we've seen in the Marvel things now. So Disney is just a dumpster fire of garbage.
Don't give them massy cheese.
This has been our public service announcement. We will return you to your regularly scheduled Nathan video now.
Like, now they're just an unsatisfied giant who are just going to keep eating more IPs and shilling out really poorly written and designed bits of content, whether it's movies or whatever. I just can't forgive them after episode 9. I don't even remember the name half the time because those names are so forgettable. Heck, the fact that Toy Story even got made is impressive, because the Disney suits were like, this is all cool tech and all, but if it's not a musical, it's not going to be successful. And, you know, apparently now hand-drawn cartoons aren't successful either, Disney. Their fear of failure and lack of risk-taking is going to be the thing that makes them fail in the end. But don't worry, because when that happens, a new power will rise. And the Game Knights and Shadowversity Media Corp will own everything. We'll own it all. And with Shad at the forefront, we will make decent TV shows and movies. We'll give the justice that fans have been waiting for. Or we'll just sell, you know, all the properties and be billionaires and, you know, just live happy lives with our families. I don't know what we're going to do when that day comes. But for now, when Disney asks to renew my subscription, I'm going to cancel that and invest that in something else. Maybe I'll get myself a nice sword, because, you know, the amount that Disney wants to charge me now is, you know, really getting up there. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please head over to our Patreon or Subscribe Star to support us. We've got no sponsors yet on Game Nights, so by you going there, that's your way in which you can help us financially continue to make these videos. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.